Hello y'all, this is your boy Lye Yosh. Welcome back to Life Study Library, where you can learn about helpful and interesting science and psychology that can positively change your life. I'm sorry I kind of got silent in the video uploading recently. I've been busy with honestly unnecessary stuff that really drained me out of my time and my energies, but now I can finally be here and talk about fun stuff that are actually important. Today we're going to be talking about the right type of food to eat before you work out so that you can get those maximum gains and any other maximum benefits from working out. So, what should you eat before you work out to get results effectively and efficiently? If you've ever watched or read about these topics, you probably say protein will help build muscle, or good source of carbs will help you create energy, or stuff like these. But we're going to go a little deeper into this, and we'll be adding on the specific type of food. Likewise, in this channel, your host Lye Yosh will be talking about these interesting scientific and psychological information that can greatly improve your life. I'll be supporting these info based on using multiple scientific and psychological studies, and this channel is made like a library where you can pick out the right video for your specific needs. If you're interested and want to hear more, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Life Study Library so that you can be up to date with it. Thank you for doing so, and now let's get back to today's video. So let's just get straight to it and answer the question, what should you eat before you move around a lot? The short answer is, it really depends on your type of exercise. A study was done by HealthSpan Elite, a British company specialized in health, supplement, and wellness, and the nutritionists from this company have provided evidence of what specific food to eat, what nutrients to take in before various types of workout. So let's just look at the list. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the basic knowledge. In order to maximize the results of your workout, whether it's weightlifting or running or other endurance workout, or even HIIT workouts, short for high intensity interval training. This one is basically you move around your body intensely for a certain amount of seconds and rest for a certain amount of seconds, and you repeat this process for a number of times. So the basic thing to remember is that when you're doing strength training, weightlifting and stuff, if it's this type of exercise where you would typically take in like protein afterwards, through like protein shake and stuff like that, and because these strength workouts and other high intensity workouts like HIIT, because it requires a lot of energy, you are generally advised to eat high quality carbohydrates, something that is easy to digest, quickly fills you up, and raise your blood sugar. A proper portion of like oatmeal would be a good idea, and also like a toast with peanut butter and a banana would be a good food that you can immediately use as energy. On the other hand, if your exercise requires a stable endurance at a low to moderate amount of intensity, something like a long distance running, then you are advised to eat something that gradually increases your blood sugar. Examples of this food includes yams or beans or potatoes, stuff like that, because this time you're using your energy at a slower pace and at a lesser intensity than before. Because of this, your body needs to have a good mileage, basically. Okay, so that was a good talk about the benefits of carbs. So now we're going to talk about not carbs. According to the nutritionist from the nutritional supplement company, MyProtein, you probably heard of this name at least once in your life. Yeah, it's very, very important for you to take good source of carbohydrates if you want to see gains and results. You can't just be taking protein like a crazy person. And that's because, according to the nutritionist, having a good source of carbs basically works as a brake that stops your body from using your muscles to produce energy. If you want to see gains or wanting to lose weight, basically this would be something you can do if you're already overweight, although it's not really recommended. But if you're already fairly toned, to a fairly muscular body, unless you want to become like a pro bodybuilder, you are generally encouraged to take in a good source of carbs. You know how some people talk about like carb deficit, where they don't eat carbohydrates for a certain amount of time? As a regular person who are just looking for like health benefits and not trying to become a bodybuilder, this is not recommended. There are better ways to do it. So yeah, if you're not a pro bodybuilder, you should take carbs. Carbs intake is also good because it helps you recover your muscles faster and better, especially if you're doing like weightlifting. Basically, how you build your muscle, you build it by first breaking it down, by damaging your muscles by lifting weights. Your muscle tries to recover from this damage, and it does so by taking the protein you consumed and using it to regenerate itself. So yeah, if you want to build muscles, then consuming a good source of protein is a must. One thing to note for when doing this is that whatever source of protein you're taking, there is a chance your body will not be able to take in the protein properly. For example, if you're drinking milk, which has a good source of protein, but if you're like lactose intolerant, then your body might not take it well, and you'll be wasting the opportunity to take in protein. Something similar to that will happen if you eat like a whole steak and then work out right after that. And plus, you'll be moving around a lot, and your body cannot digest food and be exercising at the same time. So that's why you should generally try to take in protein after you work out, when your body is tired and is looking for nutrients. Because at this point, your body is trying to take in nutrients. So if you chug your protein shake right now, your body will typically be able to take in the nutrients effectively. Okay, so that was enough talk about protein, so let's go back to the topic of carbs. So the overall message from this company is that the best way to combine food and exercise is to take in the appropriate source of carbs before you work out and consume a good source of protein after you get out of the gym. There are a lot of different studies from different universities and health institutions, but generally it is said that you should eat and fuel yourself up somewhere between 2 to 3 hours before you start working out. This is basically because it takes about 2 to 3 hours for your body to digest the food and store it as energy. And now, if you don't use this energy source in some way, it will become stuck to your body as fat and you'll get overweight. But if you exercise or work out and use that stored up energy in a good way, then it will be turned into muscles, or it'll make you look slim and overall make you healthy. Additionally, other studies from places like the University of North Carolina states that generally it is advised to consume food 3 hours before you start working out. And yes, some might feel totally comfortable working out after just 1 hour of eating, while others might just throw up if they try to do the same. I guess that depends on your preference, so you should discuss that with your body. But science says that it'll generally take about 2 to 3 hours after you eat for your body to start actually using the food source as energy and nutrients, and overall perform better during your workout. So you should at least test it out, starting with waiting 2 to 3 hours after you eat the good source of carbs, and then gradually adjust the time based on your body's preference. And yeah, that's enough talk about this topic. Now let's talk about why carbs are important in exercising. So firstly, when we think about losing weight and getting healthy, some of us might think about fasting. You know, one of the methods we might use when trying to lose weight, where you don't eat anything for a long time and consume only water for like an entire day or something. The reason why this became popular was because we discovered how carbohydrates, protein, and fat, the three major nutrients for body making, we basically discovered which one of them gets used in which order. Well, this process starts out with the carbohydrates getting converted as energy, and then if and when we fast and we don't eat for a long hour, our body is in shortage of nutrients, right? That we can use as energy because we've used up the carbs and don't have any more of it to convert to energy. And at this point, our fat gets used as energy. And then lastly, when we're out of both carbs and fat, the protein turns into energy. The speed of the carbohydrates becoming energy is the fastest, and because it gets turned into energy very efficiently, in order to have a sufficient amount of energy when we work out, we need to eat a lot of carbs in order to have energy when we move our body. So unless you're doing an exercise that is super out of the ordinary, if you're simply just trying to diet and lose weight or get muscles or something, it's best if you continue to eat a healthy portion of carbs. And at this point, if you're still not convinced about carbs through my words, then listen to this advice from the president of MyProtein. As stated, when we exercise, our body burns this molecule called adenosine triphosphate, and we burn this thing more so when we exercise compared to when we're doing nothing. Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, serves as a sort of token for energy, and every single part of our body requires it to a certain amount. It's like the money we spend for making energy, and we use a lot of these when we exercise. And because carbohydrates efficiently make this molecule, we need these carbs to efficiently exercise and get shredded or simply become more fit. A typical method people think of when thinking about dieting and losing weight is to not eat carbs. But in order to fulfill this mission, eating carbs is a must. We just need to eat a healthy kind of carbs at a healthy amount. So if you're planning on exercising to become more fit, and if you're not doing any additional health activities like fasting, then you are totally encouraged to eat carbs. Just keep away from the bad kinds. Make sure you know which carbs are the good kinds and which are bad, and take it accordingly to your own self-limit. And also make sure to eat well before you exercise so you don't puke. Well, that was it for today's video. What should you eat before you exercise? I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. And lastly, we have our book and video recommendation for the day. Today I recommend a video from my channel called How to Make a Habit of Healthy Eating. The link to it is down below. One of the biggest activities we do with our friends or our companions as a social creature is without a doubt eating. Whether it's eating at a home get-together or at a party or something, we're always eating. I mean, if you don't believe me, which I doubt, have a look at the person next to you. Exactly. But yeah, all that aside, eating is in fact a necessity. So what should you do to develop a healthy eating habit? For both at homes and during outside parties. A lot of people think that you just have to resist the temptation as much as you can, which is not a bad start, but there's definitely a better way to do this and accomplish this challenge of healthy eating based on scientific research. If you want to know this, head down to my description section where you'll find the link to this video and some of my other videos talking about other fun and educational topics on science and psychology. Next up, I have you my book recommendation of the day. Today I was planning on recommending you a book that has something to do with eating, but I've decided that I should go beyond that for you. I thought to myself, when you think about healthy food choices, the ultimate solution for you is to learn about how to choose smart, right? Like with things other than just reading, preventing yourself from indulging in bad habits and making sure you see yourself doing positive habits. How can you make a healthy and a positive choice into a habit? I know I've teased that for like a good year, and I know y'all are getting impatient. So that will be my next big series that I'll talk about over my next few videos, how to make and break a habit. Please do wait patiently until I post them. I promise I have a lot more time than before, so it'll be posted very soon. But until then, you can read a number of books that I recommend in my description, alongside my recommended videos from Life Study Library. For example, I have you for today a book called Making Habits, Breaking Habits. Why We Do Things, Why We Don't, and How to Make Any Change Stick by Jeremy Dean. And then the second book I recommend is Spark, The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain by John J Ratey. I'm sorry, I kind of need to go somewhere right now, so I don't have time to explain and introduce these books in details, but basically, the first book talks about how exercise and the brain is more interconnected than we initially have thought, and you can influence your brain in many ways, like losing needless stress, focusing better, remembering things better. A lot of these brain activities are, according to this book, can be improved by exercise. Using many scientific and psychological studies, this book explains that exercise is really our best option in order to develop and protect our brain. And then the other book, Making Habits, Breaking Habits, uses over hundreds of different scientific and psychological studies in order to explain how we are not as in control of ourselves as we like to think. This book talks about the myth of habits, including but not limited to the concept of what and how you think about your habits does not necessarily make that behavior a habit. Honestly, I really recommend you read these two books, as these two probably should be read together. And I promise you can get a lot out of these two books. Again, the Amazon link and the link to my other videos are posted in my description section, so check it out. And that's it from me. Thank you for watching. This has been Life Study Library with your host, Lye Yosh. I'll see you in my other videos. Bye now.